Hello. We got a special guest for today's read. She was good. She's got Paw Patrol going, but we don't know. We don't know. Welcome to January 22nd, 2021. I'm reading the paper today, live. And my daughter Grace may join me in and on and off. We'll see. We'll see what we need to do to make this read happen. With relative calmness. Until then, unsheathe. Unsheathe with me if you happen to have a paper. Now is the time. You have been patient to wait to read it with me. So I now give permission for you to unsheathe your paper, unfold, and separate sections. It's always a great time, isn't it? Separating the sections. It's like, what's going to happen? Let's see. We know this. Don't know how I feel about it. Don't know much about the guy, but I'll read a little bit about it and see. What's up, sweetie? You okay down there? All right, you want to come up here and hang out? Come on. You want to be on TV? Look. What is it? You ready? I'm going to do separating sections here. Ready? Front section. Today's Philadelphia Inquirer. Looks like this. Biden outlining a virus plan that should have been created 10 months ago. So baffles me as to why, like, all this attention and all these plans and federal, support and vaccination sites that I'm hearing are going to be put together. I just saw. Why we gotta wait till now to do all that? What? Rachel. Biden had to wave a magic wand for all those things to happen. Only Biden could have been like, hey, let's come up with a plan. Life. And here he is. Here he is, getting their man, according to the Inquirer. I guess he did, since that's who they hired. Let's start right with sports. Let's get right to it. Sports. What do you think, Grace? What do you think about Nick Sirianni? 39, young guy. Youngish guy. Fellow Ital. Right? Yeah. You support the Italians, right? All right. So what are the takes on the front page? What are the columnists' leads here? Jeff McClain goes with hire has marks of how he's doing. The Nick Sirianni hire spoke to the impression he made upon the Eagles, to Jeffrey Lurie's foundational belief in quarterback-driven offense, and to identifying a budding head coach, a la Andy Reid, before the rest of the NFL caught on. To that point, I did see, in Marcus Hayes' column, I did see this cheeser over here. I did see, him give a nod to the track record of the Eagles doing just that. They brought in Andy Reid, who nobody knew. They brought in Doug Peterson, who was everybody's like, oh, who's this guy? Not who's this guy, but he didn't have much of a experience. And now they got Sirianni, following the theme. was also yielding to a choice that was made yet again with Howie Roseman in mind. Yes, of course, the Eagles general manager would factor into who would replace Doug Peterson. The coach-GM relationship is among the most important dynamic in team building. But Roseman was the elephant in the room, and quite literally was in the room for interviews during this search, because no other personnel executive in recent league history has ever sustained 3 coaching firings with the same team. Wow. Interesting stat. We get it. Do we get it or do we not get it? What do we want to do? Do we want to say we get that, Grace, or do we want to keep reading McClade's take? Owner GM may be right. Okay, there's Marcus Hayes' headline. I was saying. Here we go again. Jeffrey Lurie and his front office henchmen are trying to be the smartest guys in the room, according to Marcus Hayes. Well, like he says later in the column, I did read it online last night. I'm not cheating. I didn't see it in print, saw it online. He does say in the column, he mentions those things I just said about Dougie Doug and Andy, Big Red. All right, want to look at Sirianni's numbers? Let's take a look. There it is. 39 years old, 17 years coaching. He's coached in every year since graduating from Mount Union in 2004. Mount Union alum for the Mount Union people out there. 5 years in college coaching. 2 at Mount Union. 3 at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, UP. 5 years as Chargers head coach. 4 years as Chiefs assistant head coach, predating Andy Reid. 3 years as the Colts offensive coordinator. Well, we'll find out, right? We'll see, huh? Flyers took a bad loss last night. They were up 2-0 going into the third. Third period is usually a strong period for the Flyers. They went up. He said, you know what? We're going to let in 5 goals over the next 30 minutes. And they did. 4 goals exactly, but a shootout made it 5. So 5-4. We'll take on the Bees on Saturday, 7 p.m. for a rematch. Try to even things up. I did hear that Morgan Frost will be out for a little while, as well as Phil Myers. He's going to be sidelined indefinitely with the dislocated left shoulder. That's Frost. Myers, several weeks because of fractured rib. Well, let's bounce back. So, I did hear this too. A lot of talk about MVP, Embiid. Listen, I'm not disagreeing that he can get there. But what? Was it 12 games into the season? I mean, is it ever too early for MVP talk? I don't know, but Harris was asked Joshua Harris. No. Tobias Harris was asked how cool it is to see Embiid playing in sort of an MVP caliber run after Embiid's 42 points powered the Sixers to a 117-109 win against the Celtics. Quote, well, it's not sort of. It's for sure an MVP caliber. Night after night, he controls the game, controls the paint. More than anything, defensively, he is just a force for us. Yeah, it's like, Embiid's like, yo, guys, get out of my way. Just let me do this. Just beat it. Okay? I got this. Sixers are 9-5. I'm sorry, Sixers are 10-5. And the Celtics are 8-5. Game on. There's another spread on Nicholas. You mind if I call you Nicholas, or is that you like Nick? Okay, Nicholas. There he is, in all his youthful glory. Mahomes still not clear to play. Only a couple more days here. What's the lines? What's Vegas Fixes lines? Vegas Fixes? Vegas fix the lines? What are they? Packers, -3 over Bucks. Chiefs, -3 over Bills. Could be good games. I do hope, again, Mahomes plays. He was initially listed as a full participant when he returned to practice Wednesday, but the Chiefs quickly corrected his status to limited because he remains in the protocol. He must be cleared by team physicians and an independent neural consultant before the reigning Super Bowl MVP can be a full participant to practice or play in a game. Weather! What's it going to be like outside today? Only one way to find out, besides looking outside or going outside. Right? Grace, it's going to be a high of 45 today. Mostly sunny and breezy. This weekend, people, 35 on Saturday, mostly sunny, windy, colder. Sunday, 36, partial sunshine. We're looking at some flurries on next Tuesday, as well as next Thursday. You want to get down? Today's sunset, 5:09. 5:09. Here, I'll put you here for a minute. You want to crawl around, play with your friends. Okay. Did we do the sports? Did we do it? I think we did it. I think we're done. Sports. Finesto. Where are we moving now? I know where we're going. We're going live. We're going live. Who's up for some life? I can go for life. I like life. Let me get cozy here. Let me get settled for life. Above the Fold, Finding Strength in Grief. In a new book, a St. Joe's professor writes about the pain of raising a daughter destined to die. Maria Kefalas, a nationally renowned sociologist, has written a new book, Harnessing Grief, A Mother's Quest for Meaning and Miracles. It focuses on her daughter, Calliope, 11, who has a rare genetic disease she will not survive. After finding a way to harness grief as a superpower, she looked to help others like her daughter. Oh boy. Another column hitting home for me. You know, when you see rare genetic disease, you're like, oh, it's like I'm going to be fighting off potential tears right now reading this article. Once, Maria Kefalas naively assumed that raising her children on the main line, surrounded by beautiful homes and great schools, would keep tragedy and suffering at bay. Now I could see the absurdity of such thinking, writes Kefalas, 53, a nationally renowned St. Joseph's University sociologist in her new book released this week. Crushed by the knowledge that her daughter would someday die of a rare genetic disease and laid low by her husband's blood cancer diagnosis, Kefalas' life was hijacked by misery and profound grief. She grew to despise her neighbors for having healthy children and husbands. Kefalas derived thrilling power in weaponizing her tragedy, making people recoil as she described details of how her daughter, Calliope Joy, was going blind and becoming paralyzed at the same time that her husband, Patrick Carr, was fighting stage 4 multiple melanoma. Why, she wondered, were parents whose kids had pediatric cancer complaining? Only 20% die, she'd coldly think. Late at night, in deranged agony, she'd stalk her Ballakindwood neighborhood, an overweight, unkempt madwoman cursing the perfect people sleeping in their perfect houses, blessedly ignorant of the 24-hour horror she lived. Any book with so relentless a narrative would ultimately seem like an assault, if not for Kefalas' humanity and desire to find meaning among all the broken pieces. While Carr, her husband, and a Rutgers University sociologist, died last year at age 53, Cal, as she's called, is now 11, having defied science by living years longer than anyone said she would. Listen, I can relate to that feeling of frustration when you see other neurotypical kids just doing their thing. Oh, it's a hard thing to fight through. There they are. She looks so happy, the daughter. She looks so joyful. Her middle name is Joy, after all. Finding a way to harness grief is a superpower, quote. Kefalas has used a stunning breakthrough in the treatment of Cal's disease, metachromatic leukodystrophy, MLD, to help other children. She's also credited with being an inspiration for and an investor in a center at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia that works with parents suffering genetic diseases. The story is the resiliency Maria has shown through all these tragic events in her life, said Amy Waldman, a pediatric neurologist and medical director for CHOP's Leukodystrophy Center of Excellence. She literally changed CHOP. Changed so many children's lives, changed the world, really. The most selfless thing you can do is save other children's lives when you can't save your own child's. Instead of retreating, Maria is moving forward. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this book, but I applaud Maria because I know that if she's behind some genetic program that handles genetic diseases at CHOP, it's going to help us. It's going to help Grace. Love you, sweetie. Wow. I can tell you, it's hard for me to talk about it. I don't really know what to say. I can tell you that something like this that happens to you, and again, I have no monopoly on suffering, grief, hardships. This is no competition. Everybody's got their own stuff. But, man, having a kid with these kind of needs. There's an article in the New York Times said back around the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act in July, it will consume your life. And to do that while also advocating for broader help, Maria, you are a friend. Maybe I'll reach out to you, or reach out to the reporter and say, "Hey, can you pass this message along to Maria for me, on behalf of the Petiti family?" And maybe I'll send a picture of Grace and say, "We're all here together. We're all in this together." She's born in Lexington, Massachusetts. She's an expert on poverty, violence, marriage, and the American family. 2009, she had her third child, Calliope, named for the muse of epic poetry and eloquence in Greek mythology. Calliope is a name that I'm seeing a little bit more of recently. It's a cute name. The same week she learned she was pregnant with Cal, she was scheduled to give a talk entitled Unplanned Parenthood With Cal and her other 2 kids, PJ, now 16, and Camille, now 20, Callis and Carl were living a perfect life. Quote, it changed quickly. Kefalas and Carr saw that starting at age 2, Cal was starting to regress. The disease began reversing every childhood milestone she had achieved, speaking, walking, feeding herself. The doctors were blunt. It's fatal, and we have no treatment or cure. In an interview, Kefalas said, mothering a child who will never grow up is quite a learning experience. We got rid of her bike and all the toys she'll never play with. Okay. I'm done with this article. It's too poignant for me. So, I commend you. And I want to communicate with you. She's going to discuss her book at a virtual free Library of Philadelphia event at 7:30 p.m. on February 16th. I will mark it down on my calendar. Using the pink highlighter, as a matter of fact. Highlight. Just 3,600 children a year are diagnosed throughout the world. What Pelosi has. It's an enzyme. It's people who have it are born with an enzyme in their blood, a lack of an enzyme in the blood called aryl sulfatase. Without it, the development of the myelin sheath, the fatty covering that acts as an insulator around nerve fibers, is impaired. Lack of a sheath leads to a breakdown in communication between the nerves and the brain and brings on paralysis, blindness, and death. We cannot save Cal, Kefalas writes, but we will get to see a different ending to other children's stories. Check it out. Virtual free event. What else are you doing? At your house, probably. Not going anywhere. February 16th. Learn about other people's plights. Support the cause. Come on. Let's go. We can all do this. We can all learn more about things. Region. Wait a minute. How could I just dismiss? How could I just realized I was so distracted that I forgot. I somehow forgot 2 major components. CAROLYN time! CAROLYN, advice cometh. Time to read CAROLYN's opinion about what somebody should do with their problem. CAROLYN. Okay. CAROLYN, what do you have for us today? Question. I work with a close friend's husband, and I'm friends with both of them. Though the wife has been my go-to advisor. Her husband has cheated on her before, and I spent countless hours talking to her about this, encouraging a second chance for him, and stressing how much she had to lose if she chose to divorce. There were young kids involved at the time. This was undoubtedly colored by my own painful experience with divorce. From what I witnessed and heard at work, the husband is cheating again. I want to tell the wife, but it's not my place. I'm pissed as hell at the husband, especially since I championed his cause previously. I feel responsible to the wife for my previous encouragement to stay and work things out. I'm not sure what, if anything, I can do. CAROLYN's answer. CAROLYN's answer. You can learn from hard experience. You got too involved last time. You obviously meant well and cared deeply for this couple, but you also took a firm position on what the wife needed based on your own experience. Instead of listening to her and letting her needs and circumstances determine the best course of action for her. You had your thumb on the scale. You recognize it now, which is good, and important. So apply it. You have not been forced into the middle here. You don't have direct knowledge of the husband's actions, and no one has asked your opinion. So stay right where you are. Out of it. If he's cheating, if the wife finds out, and if she asks what you know, then you tell the truth, that you had your suspicions, but none founded enough to speak up, and will not risk her marriage or anyone's on a hunch. Things get acutely difficult if you ever do acquire that direct knowledge, because that puts two important realities: that withholding information from friends about their lives makes you a liar of omission, and that other people's marriages are none of your business, in direct conflict. When that happens, your only viable option is to try to anticipate what your friend would want. As I said, so difficult. One person's idea of friendship is to have friends who get involved, and another's is to have friends who know not to. But if that happens, this is a riddle old enough to have an established set of line-walking steps. 1. Tell the husband what you know and why you're furious at him. Deuce. Tell him he has a window of time to fix this himself before you act for him. Trace. If he fails, then tell the wife she needs to talk to her husband. Your goal is for him to be the messenger. My favorite step? Foe. Hope fiercely that your friends don't project their beefs with each other onto you, since you're so very conveniently placed for that, and much easier to resent than each other. And a runner-up, Fiverr. Give your friendship with the husband a hard look. We are all works in progress, but if he's doing what you think he's doing, then he's also opting not to progress. Thank you, CAROLYN. Until tomorrow. Now, we move on to another bogus horoscope for Scorpio. Time to read a horoscope that has no application to anything in reality for anyone who was born in November or early October, late October. Another bogus horoscope. Ready? Let's see what I am allegedly stored for me today, according to the stars. You will be able to extricate yourself from persons or situations that have been draining your energy and resources. Focus on what you would like to release. Reclaim your freedom in the peaceful darkness of winter's long night. What? Let's see. Typing sentences, pushing buttons. This sounds good. Publish. And that was your most recent bogus Scorpio horoscope. Moving on to now for real. Region. It's a big section because a lot of stuff hits right home here because it's local, obviously. District is urged to get kids to class as soon as it's safe. Mayor Kenny and council told the school board and Height, the superintendent, it's important as students return. Grace goes over there. She really enjoys, like, I have like all these like figurines over here. Never really saw this side of the space, but I've always liked figurines and books, a little bookcase. And Grace likes going over there and messing with my little figurines. She goes over there, she kind of kneels on the shelf, knocks them around. She's saying hi to her buds. City students urgently need to be back in classrooms as soon as it's safe, Mayor Jim Kenney and members of City Council told Philadelphia School Board and Superintendent on Thursday. COVID-19 has kept 120,000 Philadelphia school district pupils out of school buildings since March, and there's not yet a target date for any students to return. Yeah, I mean, we'll close on a year soon of this. The kids got to get back into school. Come on. We got to make this work. Every Philadelphian has struggled with the pandemic, the mayor said, but no one has been hit harder than the poor. Many children enrolled in the district live below the poverty line. That's what I'm getting at. That's my major thing, is that these kids, they need, all kids, but kids in poverty, they need to get in-person school time. I mean, if you're a parent and you choose not to, and you say, listen, I don't trust the system, or I have health issues at home, whatever. That's cool. That's your prerogative. You want to keep your kid home. But the fact that there's not an option to put your kids into school almost a year into this, we got to get this sorted out. Quote, there are some children who are only safe in school buildings. There are some children who only eat in school buildings, City Council person Maria Quinones Sanchez said at the hearing, one of 2 per year the council must hold. A 9-year-old girl died in North Philadelphia after being shot in the head Wednesday morning. She and other children were left at home alone. They could have been in school, potentially. Now, it doesn't say that, but I'm inferring. If they were in school, whew. He says that he hopes some children, likely pre-kindergarten through 2nd grade, could return to school in February. Quote, we are painfully aware of the price that our children are paying by not being in school, Joyce Wilkerson, school board president, told council. All right, then, get them in school. Officials shaken and shots fired. 3 bullets struck Montgomery County Democrats' Norristown base. Whoa. Look, you can see the bullet holes. It's like dotting Josh Shapiro's eye. Shooter's like, look at me. Oh, good shot. Did that on purpose. As police investigate the shooting of the Montgomery County Democratic Committee headquarters in Norristown, county officials on Thursday confirmed the violence as an attack on democracy, and party leaders said they would not stop their work. During a visit to the committee's headquarters Wednesday afternoon, Executive Director Brian Levy discovered that the building had been shot 3 times through its front plate glass window, according to Joe Foster, the committee's chair. Okay. The girl that I just mentioned who was accidentally shot when she found an unsecured gun, they're charging the father, Blake Davis, for not securing it. He's also charged with endangering the welfare of a child, 2 firearm violations, including 1 for being prohibited from possessing a gun because of a prior conviction, corruption of minors, and reckless endangerment, police said. Shortly before 11 a.m. on Wednesday, police responded to a report of a shooting. Officers found the girl in a back bedroom with a gunshot wound to the right side of her head. Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw said at the scene on Wednesday that authorities received a call from a 12-year-old who was also in the house. She said there were a total of 3 children that had been left unattended in the house, as well as 2 guns. Patrick Flood, 40, said he has known Davis, and the 2 have been brothers since they were 10 years old. Davis, Flood said, does construction and recently moved into a house on North Bouvier with a girlfriend and the children. Flood's the 9-year-old girl's name was Nessia, but she was called Butterfly. She was quiet and sweet. Continuing with the theme of people passing away, we'll move to OBITS. Nice calm period of the read where we look at the folks who have passed on the other side and we say R.I.P. Let's see who they are today. Let's take a quiet moment. All right, Grace? We got people in their 80s, who I normally see. People in their 90s, 98-year-old here. Mr. Raymond Dolce, 98, survived by his loving wife of 70 years. Who else we have here? Edward Malinoff, 84. Born and raised in South Philly. Died after a long-fought battle with COVID. He had 3 nieces and nephews he cherished, as well as 3 granddogs. He was known for his endless puns and wit. If there was a pun to be made, he will come up with one almost immediately. He was an innate talent. It was an innate talent. He loved his Philly sports teams, was a great appreciator of music, and sang all the time. He was a movie buff and remembered songs from old movies word for word despite having dementia. He loved the Jersey Shore, especially Margate and Atlantic City, where he enjoyed the buffets and shows. He worked as a logistics manager for the U.S. Navy with the Tomcat F-14 for 35 years. Rest in peace. Anna Vaccaro, 95. She moved south with her daughter Michelle and her family and made Alabama her home until her 90th birthday. She later spent time in Wildwood and moved to Burlington County, New Jersey to be closer to her sons. She was very proud of them. And she liked her great-grandkids and her favorite dog, Daisy. The past year has been very difficult, visiting through windows, screens, and sometimes outside. Outside visits were fun because it was just the family, treats, and Daisy. Anna will be missed. Okay. No younger people today, younger-ish people today. 57, I'm sorry. Thomas Robert Dean. Rest in peace, Thomas Robert Young. Full of flowers, donations to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Okay, everybody. May you all be calm and at ease wherever you are. Moving on now. Front section time. Front section time. And then we're going to be done. And then we're going to be done until the New York Times, which we'll do in a separate live read. Everything on this page is COVID related, except for the bottom article about Russia. Everything else, COVID. Vaccines mostly. Turning pages. I love to see this. I just love this headline right here. I'm just so happy that Biden did an executive order in the first day and was like, 1770 commission? No. President Joe Biden revoked a recent Trump administration report that aimed to promote patriotic education in schools, but that historians mocked and rejected as political propaganda. Patriotic education. Like, what is this? Like some sort of like dictatorship country? Some sort of authoritarian regime? You're going to learn about how to be a patriot. And if you have any questions about that, I'll see you over here for a beatdown or whatever. I don't know. Some sort of punishment. You're not patriotic enough. Where's your flag? Where's your flag pin? In an executive order signed Wednesday, his first day in office, Biden disbanded Donald Trump's presidential 1776 commission and withdrew a report it released Monday. Trump established a group in September to rally support from white voters, and as a response to the New York Times 1619 project, an actual, I'm just trying to ad-lib here and it's not working out. I was going to say like an actual like substantive report that makes sense. It's a value. Which highlights the lasting consequences of slavery in America. In this report, which Trump hoped would be used in classrooms across the nation, the commission glorifies the country's founders, plays down America's role in slavery, condemns the rise of progressive politics, and argues that the civil rights movement ran afoul of the, quote, lofty ideals espoused by the founding fathers. Trump's like, if I just make this commission and I just say it, it'll be so. And then Biden's like, not really, buddy. But his followers are like, yes, sir. The panel, which included no professional historians of the United States, complained of false and fashionable ideologies that depict the country's story as one of oppression and victimhood. Historians widely panned the report, saying it offers a false and outdated version of American history and ignores decades of research. Quote, it's an insult to the whole enterprise of education. Education is supposed to help young people learn to think critically, said David Blight, a Civil War historian at Yale. That report is a piece of right-wing propaganda. Oh, don't believe the historians at Yale. They don't know what they're talking about. Historians at Yale, fake news. Where'd you get your diploma? Huh? Yeah? You're at Yale? What's that? Oh, that's a good school? Sure. You say so. Why should we listen to the professionals, the historians? What do they know? I'm making my own mind. I think slavery is okay. So that's it. Such like an entitled, narcissistic approach. It's like so in line with Trump. Hey, I need you to write this. I need you to write that. I need you to put this together. I need you to send it out, and then we're going to promote it, and then everybody's just going to have to believe it because that's what I said. Biden's like, not really. Dunzo. Blight at Yale compared it to a, quote, 6th or 7th grade kind of approach to history to make the children feel good, he added. But it's worse than that because it comes out of an agenda of propaganda. Oh, yeah, Grace? Grace is over there making her raspberries. Yeah. Well, good. Maybe I don't have to read about that stupid commission anymore. Maybe it's done now. Maybe, like, the articles on it are done. I don't even like talking about it. Everything I say about it just potentially offers someone an interest in Googling it, and then they can fall down the rabbit hole of potentially being exposed to the nonsense and then maybe even believing it. So I don't even like to. I want it to be out. I want it to be out of the papers, out of the news cycle. Nope. What is the new twist or turn in the Pelosi laptop story? She's saying that her ex is exaggerating. Oh yeah, Grace? A lawyer for the Harrisburg woman accused of stealing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's laptop during the Capitol riot told a judge Thursday her client was not fleeing from authorities when she left her home, changed her phone number, and shut down her social media accounts after being identified by the FBI. Instead, Riley Williams was seeking to escape what her attorney described as an abusive relationship with the ex-boyfriend, whose tip had focused investigators' attention in her direction. Calling her client a victim of stalking and harassment, Ehrlich maintained that it was police who had advised Williams to change her phone number after she obtained a restraining order against her former partner. And she's going to pull at all the stops here. Although she did post, I took Pelosi's hard drives. I don't care. I mean, we read about some of the things she put on social media right after she stole the thing. And now she's saying, and that wasn't me. Well, maybe that was me, but I don't know what was going on. My ex-boyfriend was just, in my ear about it, so I just decided to post. You wouldn't let me alone, so I posted. He actually held my fingers to the keyboard, typed it for me, and then ran off. Ooh, her lawyer says she's been vilified by the government and the public in these matters. It's regrettable that Miss Williams took the president's bait and went inside the Capitol that day. You hear her over there? She's on a roll. She's on a raspberry roll. You stole a laptop. I mean, you took the laptop. You took it. And then you bragged about it. And then you deleted all your accounts. I don't know. It seems like guilty behavior to me. Hey, you want to hang out for the end of this, for the letters and op-eds, Grace? Slide over and grab you. Come here. Whoa. You knocking all my stuff down? Are you knocking all my stuff? What you doing? What you doing? Give me this. Give me these. You're falling apart. Oh, you're falling. All your pants are falling down. Come here. Yeah. Okay, ready? I'm going to read the letters and op-eds together. And we're going to be done. I'm going to be finished with the Inquirer today. That's quite the cartoon here. I think it's representing a Ku Klux Klan hood as the A in America. It's a little bold. We did what we came to do. It's a Trump caricature. Okay, letters. New Day for America. Stephen M. Clayton. Ocean. Whoever that is. Ocean. PA Vaccine Dashboard Horrors. Claire Gawanowitz. I live in Montgomery County and I'm 67 years old. The Pennsylvania Department of Health has a quote dashboard. You can go on to see which sites may have the vaccine available soon. You supposedly can register to get the COVID vaccine on these sites, and emails are provided on this dashboard. I emailed about 7 or 8 of them. None of them will allow me to even put on a list to get the vaccine when it's available. Some said, we are not giving vaccines. Why is this dashboard even on the site? It's completely useless. Impeach retroactively, David Frankel Haddonfield. They got gerrymandering of judgeships by Christine Jacobs. No comparison, Kevin Jones. Mark Thiessen's comparison of the protests in Madison, Wisconsin to the Capitol attack is disingenuous. No one died in Madison. It was not incited by the U.S. president. It was not an attempt to stop the constitutional mandated count of votes certified by all 50 states. Madison protests resulted in property damage, but not on the order of magnitude or maliciousness that occurred in the Capitol attack. The protesters in Madison were objecting to the attempt to eliminate collective bargaining, not to try and undermine the Constitution. It seems that every time Donald Trump commits an egregious act, there is an attempt to mitigate it by some false comparison or to blame it on Antifa. Give us a break! Yes. Yes, Kevin. And then we gotta just close it down with yes or no, pro or con, should Rachel Levine's replacement be a physician? Yes, doctors in training have the expertise. Or no, knowledge of public health is what matters. You decide. You can read The Yes Take by Lala Tanoy, and student at the Cornell Rockefeller University, or you can read The No Take from Valerie Yeager, an associate professor at IUP. I'm sorry, Indiana University. And we're done with the Inquirer for January 22nd, 2021. Did you like that read? An alright read. I feel like we got a lot out of that one. Say bye. We'll see you later for the New York Times. Maybe sooner than you think. Have a good rest of the morning. Until then. Bye-bye.